But first tonight, some cold, hard facts about the risk of falls. Every day, 400 Australians wind up in hospital as a result of having a fall. Sadly, 7,000 lives are lost every year. That's more than breast, skin and brain cancer combined. It's more than 5 times the national road toll. So it's no surprise there's a lot of work being done to prevent falls.
And every time we take a step, it's like a control fall.
The dangers of putting one foot in front of the other.
I had a friend who's 64 years old. 6 weeks ago, fell in her house and she banged her head.
The statistics are not great.
In fact, they're terrible.
She never regained consciousness.
So how big of a problem are falls?
And there's about 16 people who die because of a fall every day.
A day?
Every day. 400 people a day who get admitted because of a fall into hospital.
As our population ages, more and more Australians are just one uneven paver, one misstep from disaster. It's no laughing matter.
I got up and I walked and I just went down.
Tonight, the fight to help prevent falls.
So you cannot fall over.
I can't fall over. And save our seniors.
My balance is terrible. That's my major concern.
At 83, Diana is as sharp as a tack, but her painful arthritis means she can't get around like she used to. And the simple act of getting up brought her down.
So, Diana, is this where you fell? You fell?
Right here, right here. I just fell full length. But I didn't trip on anything.
You just lost your balance?
I just lost, and I didn't have a dizzy spell. I just went over.
It was a wake-up call.
That was the trigger for me to think, I'm lucky this time I didn't break anything or do any real damage, but this is a warning.
One the retired academic wasn't about to ignore.
We will do a bit of an assessment with you to make sure that we have the levels absolutely right for you.
So she's checking in with Professor Kim Delbert, a falls expert at Neuroscience Research Australia.
Check my level of decrepitude.
Professor Delbert and her colleagues have developed an app called Standing Tall.
Are you ready to do some exercises with me?
A program of at-home exercises to improve strength and balance.
We'll have 12 exercises that we'll be doing. You're doing great. Well done.
Already the program is achieving results.
The key thing to prevent falls is to do challenging balance exercises. And it has to be quite frequent, so we would say 2 hours a week for at least 6 months.
And lift up the foot
Just
completely?
just a little bit on your toe. And if you do that well, you can reduce your risk of falling by 30%.
To get a sense of how easy it is to fall, I meet Kim's colleague, Professor Stephen Lord, a world leader in fall prevention.
We're going to expose you to what could be best described as a booby-trapped walkway.
Never fear, 9 workplace safety officers.
Strap me in. What could possibly go wrong?
So you cannot fall over.
I can't fall over.
You've got a sky hook.
Okay. So I'm all kitted up and strapped in. I've got the padding, and the idea is that I'm not able to fall over, but we're going to replicate what happens if you do fall and how to prevent having a fall. And it's the slip and trip walkway. It's a deliberate booby trap. So let's put it to the test. So I just start walking?
Start walking.
Okay. At a normal pace.
Keep walking. You did it.
I'm doing this again. How did I go, though? Did I fall the right way?
You did. You lifted your tripped foot up and over and regained your balance and could keep walking.
So that's the trick?
That's the strategy.
Okay.
That's the strategy.
All right. We'll do it again. That was the hazard. hazard.
That was the hazard. So this time it's a slip.
A slip hazard.
Just like a slip, and as you can see, it's completely different.
If I didn't have this though, I would have gone over there.
Well, what you've experienced is, it's not a simulation, it's a real slip. And so you're walking along, you've slipped. As you can see, your leg goes with it.
Yes.
You come back and you get that other protective leg down, and that's what we need to do. And that's what we're training up, is that response.
It's a booby trap with real purpose and scientific backing to boot.
The idea is, we've found out that if we can we expose older people to this contraption, they learn to deal with trips and slips quite quickly. So the skills learned here in the lab actually can be used when people are out and about in everyday life.
So it's conditioning.
It's conditioning, it's training. It's so people actually develop a plan and avoid the fall.
The good news is you don't need a slip and trip walkway to get training.
And then just exhale and just let go. Relax.
In Ashfield, in Sydney's inner west,
Inhale, push and stretch up.
we meet Tai Chi Grandmaster Gary Kaur.
But Tai Chi is so gentle, and we move, we're always in control of our body, so that we're always mindful of every movement.
Tai Chi's been found to be an ideal exercise for fall prevention.
So by doing the movement slowly, it gives you time for the mind to register and for the information. And if you keep doing that practice, gradually, the whole mind and body start to synchronize.
So it helps with balance.
Oh yeah, balance and posture. So when you do Tai Chi, you will always have a good posture and always relax.
The 77-year-old calls himself a falls master.
Because I fall all the time.
You fall.
Yes, I fall. I'm a Tai Chi expert. I can balance on one leg. I can even fight on one leg. But there are so many ways of falling.
So he not only teaches how to avoid falling,
So normally you see that when we fall, we automatically take a foot forward to try to stop the fall.
but how to have one without injury.
That's where Tai Chi comes in. Tai Chi principle, movement number 2 is just to relax or push the bottom down or the tailbone down. Now your weight is falling straight down.
So not forward.
You're not falling anymore.
Mona's put the Grandmaster's principles into practice.
There was a whole lot of wet leaves from the rain, and I actually slipped on the leaves, and I automatically did like a horse stance, which is what Grandmaster has taught us to do. And my girlfriend said, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing Tai Chi. I stopped myself from falling."
Daphne signed up after a scare.
Quite recently, I got out of the swimming pool, and when I reached the top step, my leg just decided it wouldn't hold me any longer. I fell backwards, fortunately, into the swimming pool, or I would have killed myself.
A warning she's heeded.
I can feel it strengthening my legs, and that's where I know that I need to strengthen.
Half an hour's drive north,
Up you go. Come on, move those bodies.
physio Sally Castell is putting her balance class through its paces.
Going down.
Sally's been in the balance business for 3 decades.
If you don't stay strong and you don't stay active, you're more prone to falling. And this is the last thing we want you to do.
She says for most people, the hardest part of the workout is going in the first place.
And the fear of falling sometimes can be a big, big problem, because people think if I fall again, I'm not going to let that happen, so they'll just sit down and do nothing, and that's the worst thing they can do.
And we know that fear of falling in itself can cause a fall as well.
Professor Delbare's latest research proves what has always been suspected.
It can lead to falls because fear of falling has been associated with avoiding activities, with social isolation, so it could have long-term deconditioning effects.
Diana knows the feeling.
Do you lose your confidence if you've had a fall?
I lost some confidence. I'm still anxious, I have to say. I'm very anxious about having a fall.
Now she knows fear is her worst enemy, so she's taken action.
And what have you changed around your home?
So I've taken all the carpets away. I've got rails in the bathroom.
And you've put in a lift.
I don't know if you remember the Star Trek program. It's a real beam me up Scotty lift. It's a round lift. Every time I get in that lift, I think every dollar is worth it.
It sure beats the alternative.
And here am I at 83, I'm doing okay, but I'm working hard to make sure that I can keep living independently.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job. Yeah, she certainly is. And it is the old story, use it or lose it. And it's never too late or too early to start. For more information and some links to fall prevention programs, head to our website.